In this video I'm replacing spark plugs, adding a spark plug wire routing kit and making custom length spark plug wires. Before we begin, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And maybe consider subscribing. Psst, George, click that button. I can see you're still not yet subscribed. Alright, let's go. Part 1 of this video is replacing the old spark plugs. What's up everybody? Welcome back to Wrench at Home. This is my 1980 GMC Squarebody truck with a Chevy 350 small block engine. Today a relatively simple job, replacing the spark plugs and spark plug wires. Mainly because I don't know when the last time was that they got replaced. To get to the spark plugs, and because I'm replacing the wires anyway, I'm going to remove the wires from the engine bay. First, I tear off a few pieces of painter's tape to create labels numbered from 1 to 8. I'm going to put these on the old spark plug wires, so I know which wire went to what spark plug in the case I have to reuse them for whatever reason. I remove the air cleaner for easier access to the distributor and the spark plug wire ends. Then it's just a matter of pulling the wires off of the distributor. Then it's just a matter of pulling the wires off of the distributor and the spark plugs. Using a 16mm socket wrench I remove all the old spark plugs. All but one. The spark plug in cylinder number 4 is positioned so close to the passenger side header that it's impossible to get my wrench in between them. I tried a shorter socket but the wrench wouldn't fit on, and I couldn't get the socket to turn with a vice grip. So I ended up disconnecting the whole header to create some more working room, just to remove this last spark plug. In the end, I was victorious. I'm no spark plug reader, but to me they all look pretty healthy, except for number 5, which is a bit oily. I'm just going to ignore that for now. Here are the new parts I got for this job. Some do-it-yourself MSD Street Fire spark plug wires, a Moroso spark plug wire routing kit, and some ACDelco R45TS spark plugs. This is a feeler gauge used to measure gaps. I'm using it to check the gaps on the spark plugs. I'm running an HEY type distributor, and I read online that a plug gap of around 45 thousandths of an inch was recommended. With my feeler gauge I could get up to 44 thousandths of an inch thickness, so I went with that. Most of the plugs were already pretty close, some of them I had to pry open a little bit. Now it's just a matter of putting the plugs back in. The first part of the job is done. Apply a small dab of copper grease to each plug before putting it back in the engine, so that they won't seize in the block and will come loose again in months or years from now when necessary. Part 2 of this video is about the spark plug wire routing kit. The purpose of this routing kit is to give your engine bay a neat and orderly look, but also to keep your plug wires away from exhaust manifolds, headers and other heat sources. I got this Moroso kit on Amazon, and it includes some black plastic clips for the spark plug wires and a couple of shiny chrome brackets to hold them. I will put links to all the products in the description below. Just snap on the black clips onto the chrome brackets and you're ready to install them into the engine bay. The brackets will attach to the valve covers something like this. You only have to remove the two valve cover bolts on the side facing the spark plugs and place the new brackets in between them. Now for the third and final part of this video, the new spark plug wires. This kit comes with everything you need. It has 8 wires in 4 different lengths, a handy stripping and crimping tool, 2 style of wire terminals for HEY, which I'm using, and points distributors, and their corresponding rubber boots. The benefit of a kit like this is that you can make the wires exactly the length you want them to be, which is ideal when you have a routing kit like the one we just installed. First, I'll route the new wires from the distributor to the spark plugs, using the longer wires for the spark plugs that are positioned further away from the distributor. It's important to put the wires in the correct firing order on the distributor. This order can differ per engine, so be sure you know the order for yours. I have a Chevy 350 small block, so my firing order is 18436572, with the distributor turning clockwise. When all the new wires are in place, I mark each of them with a silver Sharpie so I know where to cut them. I use my painter's tape wire label trick once again, so I know which wire has to go to what spark plug. Engine cylinders are numbered from 1 to 8, with odd numbers on the driver's side, cylinder 1 being on the front side of the car. Alright, let's make some plug wires. First, the instructions tell you to bend the tabs of each terminal approximately 90 degrees to ensure a secure wire crimp. I'm using the smaller HEY type terminals. When all terminal sides have been bent, it's time to cut the wires to length. I keep about ½ inch of extra wire just to be sure they don't end up too short. Then you can use the included tool to strip the wires by placing a sharp blade in the cutting guide and twisting the wire. After that you can just twist and pull off the excess part of the wire sleeve. Now repeat this for all 8 wires. Now it's time to crimp the wire terminals onto the freshly stripped wire ends. You have to fold the core of the wire back against the wire insulation and slide the terminal over the wire. Be sure not to fold it back too tight. Make sure you can see a small gap in the bent core wire. Next, assemble the crimping tool over the terminal end and position it in a vise, with the tabs on the crimper flush with the jaws of the vise. Now simply tighten the vise, which causes the tool to crimp the terminal over the wire, creating a secure terminal end. To help the rubber boot slide over the terminals, I apply a bit of petroleum jelly to the terminal. It's still a tight fit, but eventually I got the terminals in place.
Het was zo slippery, hè?
Now again, I have to repeat this process for all 8 wires. Now the wires are ready to install back into the engine bay. I start with the shorter wires, going to the spark plugs at the back, working my way forward. The wires just snap into the clips of the wire loom kit, resulting in a neat install. New spark plugs turned out to be a bit longer than the ones that were in the truck previously, which caused the wire boot of my number 1 spark plug to slightly touch the header. I later replaced this spark plug with a slightly shorter one. All the new spark plug wires are in place. I put the last routing kit clips in and we are done.
Alright.
Time to start the engine to check if everything still works.
Yeah, have a full black. Hey. Wat is het?
Dat ook wel.
The engine runs great and the wires look a whole lot neater than they did before. Another job that I can cross off my to-do list. That's it for now, thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see future updates on my truck and other projects. Take care everybody, bye!